morning, Nigerians. You are welcome to another edition of NSTV. You are welcome to another edition of Time Out on NSTV Lagos. My name is Idris Odenide, and I have in the studio with me Dele Ayodo. What are we discussing this morning? We are talking about fact-checking, since it has become the norm for every Nigerians to have phone. Every person has become a citizen journalism, and different news, content, video are being shown out to various groups these days. It is in light of this that we are discussing the importance of fact-checking, and Dele Ayodo is here to dissect the issue. Ayodo, you are welcome.
Thank you, Idris, for this opportunity to look at this very all-important topic. First, I must say thank you to the International Press Center, IPC, who found it very necessary, very, very crucial to bring together journalists, particularly from the Southwest, about 40. I am a part of those team that was there to look at this very critical period of our nationhood progress and movement forward, where it's not become a norm. People even take it as the regular thing. When you have misinformation, disinformation, malinformation, and outright falsehood, and a lot of people take them as the truth. Despite my experience, I must confess that I gained so much on the need to fact check, on the need to control those things that you are being pushed. Well, it may be wrong to say you are being pushed. That's why you need to fact check. Of course, a grand rule in journalism, in the newsroom, is when you are in doubt, you leave out.
Exactly.
And more so, like I said, I considered myself lucky for that. It's not all the time that you'll be lucky. It's not a common occurrence to have gurus, like somebody who's been a former student union leader, somebody who's been the chairman, Lagos Council, Nigerian Union of Journalists, national president, Nigerian Union of Journalists, executive director of IBC. I'm talking of Elari Agodo, combined with somebody who lived almost all his life in the newsroom. As a reporter, he's been on features, he's been chairman, editorial board, he single-handedly wrote several editorial comments on one of Nigeria's flagship newspaper, the Guardian newspaper.
Exactly.
I'm talking of Martin Odunoja, who is currently the managing director of Guardian newspaper. He was editor of that paper. And you have these two combinations taking you through such a task. You must appreciate it. You must, if you don't take anything home, then you may never be able to take anything.
You have gained a lot.
Again. Yes, I did. I just talk about it that despite the experience that I think I have, there were a lot of new things that I get. Apart from the fact that I can now, for myself, do the fact-checking itself. And of course, in NSTV, remember, by the grace of God, by next week, we'll be putting this together. We'll have an in-house training for our journalists, for programmers here. It's not just for newsroom. Anybody who is on program, you should be able to know and use it regularly. For instance, there are two instances here in Ogun State. There's this story of the student nurse in one of the institutions here who was reported to have committed suicide, and the next story was that the school was shut down. And remember the argument about whether the school was shut down because of the incident or the school was shut down for other reasons. Such incident brings us reasons to fact check our stories so that you don't misinform the public, which is very essential, particularly this era of so many things. There are people who deliberately just go out to misinform. But there are some people who are making profit from malinformation. But a lot of things were said. I think as we progress, we will also be able to talk about it. But more importantly, be sure that here on NSTV, we also do a trainer thing. We do a training on that fact-checking thing. It must be a key component of what we do in the newsroom all the time, even for those who are not in the newsroom, like we mentioned.
1314 o wọ́n gbédè o global concept o abániwálẹ̀ o abániralẹ̀ o abániwálẹ̀ o síbi tó dá o 1314 o global concept o wọ́n bá ní wálẹ̀ o wọ́n bá ní kọ́lẹ̀ o wọ́n bá ní ralẹ̀ o wọ́n bá ní talẹ̀ o 1314 o global concept o àwa nìyẹn.
1314 global concept à ń bá ní kọ́lé à ń bá ní wálẹ̀ síbi tó dáa a tún bá ní mójútó.
You are welcome back as we are talking about fact-checking. Dele Ayodu, who was one of the participants at the recent concluded IPC training on fact-checking, will be giving us more details on it. Dele,
yeah, I was talking about the importance of it, why we need to do the fact-checking, who can do it. Everybody really who is going on there, who is going to spread information. We need to fact-check that information to do. We are always in an era, political era of a lot of information disorder, that we don't need to follow the bandwagon. We don't need to do it the way others do it. It's creating a lot of damage.
You don't need to be the first person to share it.
It's not,
I want to share it. I want to break it. I want to break it.
It's not compulsory that you break it. Whatever you are going to break must be well broken.
Exactly.
So to say. We're taking through those apps, those myths, and how to use those. The basic questions of 5W is there. And then, why are you fact-checking? And what are you fact-checking? There are apps that was introduced. We have the Tin Eye, we have Google Reverse app, we have also OSINT, and so many other apps that you can use.
NVIDIA exactly too.
Yes, that you can use to do this fact-checking. When we go into the practical training at our next week session, we'll be able to check ourselves through better. But it's something you can always do on yourself. In fact, it's something you must always do. For almost every story, don't mind, like you said, Idris, that is going to slow you down in terms of the timing in which you are going to so-called break the news. There are so many reasons. And for information disorder, Idris, do you know which is applicable to almost all of us? Those who are into public analysis, your biases. A lot of people take their opinion as fact.
Yeah. And before you know it, everybody takes it like that.
You want to argue blindly about it. Let me give you a little test. Between these three animals, Idris, which of them do you think one should be afraid of most, particularly in Nigeria or in the Southwest? A snake, a shark, and a mosquito. Which of them?
In Nigeria, mosquito because of malaria.
Exactly, but just saying that is an opinion. You understand? Maybe you are falling victim of malaria, mosquito. I hate mosquito, truly. But that remains an opinion. You can confirm that by fact-checking. The statistics is there. If you fact-check, unfortunately, we don't have enough time, but by the grace of God, by the time we are doing those training, you'll see. If you fact-check it, you see the number of deaths these three animals have caused globally. And you discover statistics confirm that more people have died of malaria mosquito attack than the snake
bite and shark attack.
The shark bite. For instance, the shark bite. How many people will ever see shark in their lifetime in this area?
Exactly.
So that's the reason. And a lot of people, because except you imbibe that character, the attitude of fact-checking, you may not be able to separate an opinion from a fact. You understand that? You may not be able to. So until you fact-check it before you actually get the actual truth. For instance, again, you may have what we call picture in your head. You understand? For instance, picture in your head, many of us believe that we always say politicians are bad, they are not good. It's not a fact. It's a picture we have in our head. Therefore, when we are likely writing a story, that guides us, because we already have it that, oh, they are thieves, they are bad.
Yeah.
But the fact, if you check it, that it's not going to be all of them. So don't let those biases, those pictures you have in your head, your emotion to that story. Somebody has injured you before, has done something wrong before, I think that's the end. The person can no longer be. So when you are writing the story without even checking whether the person was involved,
or not,
a mere citing the person in this end, you just got the story that is part of those who have done it. So all these are basic professional tools that are needed for the progress of the land. It's a thorough job. At the end of it, that you are bringing that, you'll be confident that you've done a good job. Politicians or the so-called opponents who want to attack you, it's very easy, very quick for them to say I was misquoted.
Yeah, exactly.
He's working for the opposition. I'm talking of politicians now. He's acting a script. But once it's a fact, that not just you, any other person can fact check, that will not happen.
We are still on the issue of fact-checking, all in the bid to mitigate the adverse effects of misinformation, malinformation, and disinformation.
Or outright falsehood.
Yeah, exactly. That's why the need for fact-checking is important in every facet of the nation economy, even when it comes to business of buying land and everything like that.
Acquiring properties, you need to fact check if you don't want to run yourself into trouble.
Exactly. That's why the need for fact checking is germane to every business.
But you may not be able to use a thin eye.
Exactly.
Also
Since
for
you are not
Google
a journalist.
Not for that, to fact check when you want to buy a land.
Exactly. You go for red copy or
you
something
take
like that.
steps and check the records from those who are selling and all that.
Exactly.
Google may not be able to help you.
And to establish that what you are buying is not family or government acquisition.
Land that will run you into trouble.
Yeah. And do you have more to tell us about the trading?
It's inexhaustible. Like I said, I can only thank those who brought it out, those who gave me those opportunity to be a part of it. Apart from those workshops, those lectures, the camaraderie, the ability to also mix and mingle and discuss with other participants. There were 40 of us across the 6 geopolitical zone. Of course, when practical work starts, you have to go into groups, and the group I fell into had a representative from the 6 southwest states.
Yeah.
Many of them I've never met before. Some I know I've met before, but many of them I've never met before. We have established a relationship. We have established friendship.
Same numbers and the rest
I
like that.
can send materials to them to fact check for me in an event happening in their state. They can also do that with me in an event happening in my own state in Ogun, and so on and so forth. So it was it. It was it. And I hope, like I said, we here from our stable here can bring out the train. The train IPC has assured that they will be a part of it anytime that we want to do it, that they should be informed, they should be carried along, so that they can also have their expertise input into this. They are experts, I'm not. A lot of those sit ahead I'm coming across for the first time. I'm seeing them for the first time, knowing them for the first time. They've been in it. I must also confess, a group of what they call fellow fact checkers was formed.
Okay.
I didn't join.
Why?
It was optional.
Okay.
I didn't join. Maybe if somebody like you were there, my hands are filled.
Okay.
My hands are filled. I didn't want to waste the slot. And of course, it's a voluntary thing. By the time they change the material for me, they want me to return back in another 10-15 minutes. I'm still on the field in the meeting that I've not even checked my phone and all those stuff. That's a waste of time. But those who are there, and they are doing their job very well.
Wọ́n gbédè o 1314 o wọ́n gbédè o global concept o abániwálé o abániralẹ̀ o abániwálẹ̀ o síbi tó dá o 1314 o global concept o wọ́n bá ní wálẹ̀ o wọ́n bá ní kanlẹ̀ o wọ́n bá ní ralẹ̀ o wọ́n bá ní talẹ̀ o 1314 o global concept o àwa nìyẹn.
1314 global concept à ń bá ní kọ́lé à ń bá ní wálẹ̀ síbi tó dáa a tún bá ní mójútó.
Yeah, we are still on the issue of the need to prevent misleading information, misleading content and video and the rest like that has occupied the social media space. And like you are looking at us, a lot of applications that can be used to fact check stories, videos and the rest like that have been said, have been deliberated on.
Let me also add this, Idris. Apart from using fact check as a professional,
Yeah.
To ensure that what you are turning out in terms of the story is accurate and defendable.
Yeah.
I also come across this idea as a reporter. I never thought about it truly. The need to use the public account committee
Public
of
accounts
our
committee.
legislative. Since my return, I've called the person who is the chairman of the Ogun House of Assembly Committee. I booked an appointment. I tried to book an appointment with him. We have not fixed it. Omoba Dari, who is representing Shagamu One State constituency, is the chairman of our Public Accounts Committee. If you work closely with those ones, you get the facts, because like we said, every expenditure in and out of governments and its agencies are on his table. If he knows that you are also doing a monitoring of that, you are putting the committee itself on check, on the toe.
Yeah.
You are putting the state, because it includes the ministry, department, and agencies. You understand? You are arming yourself with public material,
Facts and figures.
facts and figures, to do your analysis and to do your job as a watchdog of the society. And I think if we all use that, we can immediately put these administrators on their toes, correct their anomalies, because when they are saying what it's not, I don't want to use the word when they are lying, permit me, I'd love to have a more diplomatic word for that, but when I'm not saying what is accurate, you have it and you can present the facts with them. The larger advantage and implication of that is that they know that somebody out there is watching and following them.
Yeah.
So they will be cautious,
I make them accountable.
they will be careful
Yeah.
at what they say and what they do. If you have just 5 in a state of a population of officially 3-point-something million, just 5, that's a very small fraction of the entire population. You see that the difference will be there. They will know NSTV, somebody in NSTV is following us.
It's monitoring.
As they are saying it, you are checking it.
Yeah.
And you are responding using your medium. All right, and sometimes you also need to commend them if it is true, because that's what fact checking is, your conclusion.
Yeah.
You must come up with your conclusion, whether your conclusion it is true or whether it is correct,
Exactly.
or whether it is wrong.
It's strong. Exactly. Some minutes we